This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. It's been a busy year on the business and the political front. We're going to talk about some of that in today's show, and we're going to begin in Northeast Arkansas. We have brought into studio George Jarrett, our Northeast Arkansas intrepid reporter up in that region of the state. Good to see you, as always.
Good to see you,
glad
too.
that you could make it down here. Let's begin with really what has been one of the biggest economic stories in Arkansas this year, and that is the trade wars, the tariffs that the president has imposed on places like China. We saw some with Mexico and with Canada as well. It has been bad for agriculture. Talk to me a little bit about how soybean farmers in particular, other farmers, have been impacted by tariffs.
Well, in Arkansas, we planted about 3.5 million acres of soybeans this year. China is by far and away the biggest importer of soybeans. And as of right now, according to Reuters, they've only bought about 3% of what they normally would have bought at this time. And so in Northeast Arkansas, we're dominated by ag fields. And, one of the, even in addition to the tariffs are, the commodity prices have been relatively low. We've had really bad weather up there. I think the University of Arkansas came out with a study that said that there was at least a $77 million impact, and that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
It's going to, when it's all said and done, we could look at $1 billion worth of economic
Natural
damage.
disasters in dicamba have also been a big crimp on the agriculture industry there too. It has been good, however, for the steel industry, and Northeast Arkansas is really one of the most concentrated areas for steel production in the whole country, with Nucor Steel and Big River Steel up there. How have the tariffs benefited the steel industry?
Well, they've announced hundreds of millions of dollars in expansions for Nucor and Big River Steel, so obviously the U.S. steel industry is expanding. The largest steel mill in the Western Hemisphere is in Mississippi County. A lot of people don't know that Nucor plant. And those jobs are high paying, $75,000, $80,000, starting out. Lots of opportunities there to make much more money than that for people in those areas. So the steel industry has just expanded immensely in Northeast Arkansas, and all signs are pointing that it's going to continue to expand.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Jonesboro Convention Center, which may use some of that steel that's being produced up there. This has been a controversial issue for a couple of years because there's been a dual potential convention center in that region, but the one that's affiliated with Arkansas State University has been the one that has finally gotten the green light and is going. Absolutely.
Tim O'Reilly and the O'Reilly Group, they were able to put together a plan to build a convention center in Jonesboro. It's a convention center plus a large hotel on the Arkansas State University campus. It's in construction now. It's coming out of the ground. It's pretty impressive when you drive by there. They think they'll be done by maybe July or August of next year. And this has been a long time coming. Mayor Harold Perrin has been working on this project for at least 10 years. It's needed. The city's growing. There's a lot of potential to bring in, different organizations and groups and other types of things like that. So it's something they've needed for a long time.
Big boost for the tourism and the hospitality industry up there. And like you said, it's an impressive structure coming out of the ground. And if you haven't been to Northeast Arkansas soon, and particularly Jonesboro, you just don't understand how much growth is up there. It's not Northwest Arkansas growth, but it's not far behind Northwest Arkansas growth in terms of how rapid things are changing. That has also led to a push, not only in Jonesboro, but many of the surrounding communities in Northeast Arkansas, to improve the quality of life up there. There have been everything from bike trails and parks and downtown redevelopment and festivals that coming under development. How different is it, say, in this last year or so than what you've seen, say, 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Well, kind of the trend, and it's happening all over the country, but it's really starting to take hold in Northeast Arkansas. It used to be the old model. You would have an industrial park, and then you would try to provide tax incentives or a building or something like that to try to lure business in. Over and over and over again, what you're hearing now is that when you're trying to bring in trained, quality workers, they kind of want to pick and choose where they live. So quality of life for workers is becoming a really big thing for a lot of different industries. And so what's happening in Northeast Arkansas is in the last couple of years, I mean, I go to, city council meetings, other economic development meetings, and what they're talking about are parks, art, culture, and they're actually starting to put money into these things. For instance, in Jonesboro, Craighead Park is the largest park. Craighead Forest Park is the largest park in the city, and they have literally spent millions of dollars building trails, doing all these things. And I've noticed that a lot of people are talking about it a lot more. So as it's being talked about, that means that they're making movement on those fronts.
Yeah, interesting. All right, lastly, let's turn a little bit of our attention to politics here. Northeast Arkansas is the area where Republicans actually made a little bit more gains this time around. We were watching a blue wave nationally in Arkansas. We really didn't see anything move. We saw the continuation of the Republican red dominance that we've seen over the last few years, but still Pocahontas and Augusta, two well-known Democrats, fall in that region of the state. Is it just that much more Republican up there? Is it the R after your name, or were there problems for these candidates?
I believe it's the R in front of your name, because Scott Baltz and Michael John Gray, they were seasoned legislators. They had some positions of authority. Michael John is the leader of the Democratic Party here in the state of Arkansas. It's really strange to me because I've been covering politics for about probably 14, 15 years in that part of the state, and I remember a time when you would look at a ballot and there would be virtually no Republicans on the ballot at all. I mean, there was nobody there. And now it's almost it's a sea change. Now it's completely dominated by the Republican Party. And it was interesting, I was talking a few months ago with Jay Barth from Hendrix College, Dr. Jay Barth. And the kind of what's settling in Northeast Arkansas is a little bit different than what we've seen in other parts of the country as far as a sea change when it comes to a political party dominating a region or an area. He compared it more to like the Republican Party of the 1950s and 60s, kind of the business Republicans, the tax, conservatives, people who are on that. He compared Jonesboro like to Charlotte or Nashville, how those cities developed, several decades ago. So, and the reason he said that is I asked him, do you think this is a permanent change? And he thinks it is. He thinks that Northeast Arkansas will become a power base for the Republican Party in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, it is. In our polling that we've done with Hendrix College and Dr. Barth, we see that that part of the state for Republicans is the most Republican part of the state, which you would think Northwest Arkansas with its roots there, and it has definitely shifted to the first congressional district over there.
In 2010, when Rick Crawford won the first district, he was the first Republican since Reconstruction to win that seat. It had been dominated by Democrats. The Democrats' power base was in Northeast Arkansas. Bill Clinton has famously said many times that when he lost his gubernatorial bid, I believe in 1982 to Bill White,
right?
1980 to Bill White,
Frank
White, I'm sorry, that he basically what he did is he camped out in Northeast Arkansas for a year and a half and
to make his comeback.
And he said, and I've heard him say it before with my own ears. He said, "This is what saved me and what propelled me to the presidency."
Yeah, wow, interesting stuff. All right, he's George Jarrett. You can catch his reporting on a daily basis at talkbusiness.net. We've got a Northeast Arkansas region on the page. You can keep up with him on the website. We've got a print product in the market that we launched this year that's been going great guns. We've got daily email newsletters, and of course you can catch us online in a variety of other ways. Thank you very much, George. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right. When we come back, Paul Gatling from Northwest Arkansas joins us to talk about the year in that region of the state. And later on, we'll talk politics. John Brummett, Tamika Edwards, and John Burris join me right after this.